to California, all points in between and overseas. Thank you for joining me tonight on this live stream of Woodwards from Woodard. As I come to you tonight, our nation is in trouble. There's so much going on, it boggles the mind. But something that really should be alarming every one of us is something that I took down today called the control arcs plan to use AI to control the masses. Billionaires Bill Gates, David Rockefeller, George Soros, Ted Turner, Klaus Schwab, Michael Bloomberg, Warren Buffett, and our really reliable Oprah Winfrey are banding together with corporate heads from Blackstone and Tiger Management to put together a plan that will control you and me. And their platform, among their priorities, fighting climate change. Now, in order to do that, they've got to control what we eat. They've got to control our travel, actually everything about us. And they also want to curb overpopulation. Now, you understand we went over 8 billion people. Their goal is 500 million people, which means the viruses of COVID and certain things have to be instituted to thin the herd. And as Klaus Schwab's group, World Economic Forum, says, those of you who are like me, I had trouble getting on tonight. Margaret had to come and rescue me to get me on. Those like me who are not computer savvy, well, I tell you what, I might be losing my gourd right now. We will be unnecessary people, and we will just be useless eaters to be disposed of. And they will do that. Make no mistake about it. There's ample precedent in the history of the world that there are people who feel so superior to the average person that they feel like mine and your life doesn't matter anywhere like theirs. Now you can bet that they're not going to give up their limos, they're not going to give up their private jets or their diets. They want to control, they want to do away with cows and do away with dairy. And if they have their way, you and I will have eaten our last steak. They're doing this now in the Netherlands and different places. And milk and ice cream and things of dairy products will be a thing of the past. This is not theory, ladies and gentlemen. This is unfolding before our very eyes. Listen, they want to control what you eat, what you see, the information you can consume. They are globalists and they're loyal to the World Economic Forum and not to any country. And certainly their preferred form of government, and they state this, they don't hide it, is China. China, of course, killing the Uyghurs right now and incarcerating them and anything that gets in their way, and there's nothing to oppose them. And that's what they want. Next year, get this. You're going to think this is Star Trek. It's not. Next year, in a space environment the size of a shoebox, an embryo from a woman and the egg from the woman and the sperm from a man will be joined in space without any conjugal contact in human beings, and an AI child will be conceived, or at least that's what they're going to try to do. And that's early on next year. They are talking to people who are lonely, and they can design them a companion, and it will be AI. And if you want children, which this generation doesn't want, but you can design a child that would be AI. They'll be as lifelike as you can imagine. And that will be your companion. And you can create that child at 3 months, 6 months, 6 years, wherever in there. It suits your purpose. They're designing these AI children for the future generation. Now, we saw that the abortion issue uh, helped decide the election a couple of weeks back. And what we found, the strongest supporters for abortion are single white women, young single white women. They don't want children. And because they don't want children, we are creating a population crisis in our country and in our world. We're circling the drain. And you might as well back your ears for it. It's coming. When you look at the TikTok that has just come out with the letter of bin Laden and these airhead kids, some of them who were not even alive or certainly old enough to be cognizant of what was going on September 11, when they flew those planes into the World Trade Center and killed over 3,000 Americans. They have been brainwashed into believing that whatever it was necessary, because America is the oppressor and we have oppressed the world, and now we are paying the price for it. And our own kids raised in our homes, sent off to these Ivy League schools and other supposedly upper echelon schools, are going to be helping to bring about the downfall of this country. We're doomed. And one of the reasons, of course, the biggest reason we're doomed is we've forgotten God. And we've turned away from God. And what we're seeing is the results of turning away from God. It was reported last night 46,000 gotaways came across the southern border in October. That with another 1,000 on the northern, in the Canadian border. 47,000 gotaways. Now, you would have to be a moron of the nth degree to believe that among them were not terrorists who are here to do us harm. Most of the immigrants that are coming across our border now unchecked are young Army aged young men. Some of them are here to do us harm, and we're seeing it played out on our streets. People are going to die. When you see the White House staffers signing a letter calling for Israel to cease fire, when you see all the academics and all the multiplied thousands of people, excuse me, around the world calling on Israel to cease fire, as though October 7th never happened, as though those number of Americans, I've lost count now, north of 30, were not slaughtered, others not taken captive, as though our troops had not come under over 50 attacks, some of them with severe brain damage. All that, just forget that. Just give Hamas a little time to regroup, rearm, and come after Israel again. And they make no bones about that is their plan, from the river to the sea, whatever it takes to destroy Israel. Not a two-state solution, not peace. They want Israel annihilated, and they tell you that in every Jew killed, and they brought that garbage to our land, our streets. I will tell you, those billionaires that I named a moment ago, well, Biden's who I call him, sorry, manure. Biden's billionaire mega donors, Dustin Moskovitz, net worth $11.6 billion. Eric Schmidt, net worth $26.2 billion. Jeffrey Katzenbach, net worth $900 million. Laurene Powell Jobs, net worth $13.7 billion. Reid Hoffman, net worth $2.1 billion. Tom Steyer, net worth $21 billion, have determined that they will give Beijing Biden all the resources he will need to run in 24 for re-election. And their plan is to use AI to get him elected in an artificial intelligence revolution. It's coming down, folks. Now, let me lay a little something on you. We have allowed our enemies within our borders, and it's spilling over into our streets before our very eyes, and people are going to die. They're already dying, but not in the numbers they're going to die. And here we are with the leadership we have. We've got Biden, who represents the convalescent homes of America. You've got Kamala Harris, who represents Romper Room, who slept her way to her victories. House Leader Hakeem Jeffries and the Squat. And these people, they're not Americans. They don't love this country. The Biden administration doesn't love America as America was founded, and they're no friends of Israel. They're undermining Israel. And as we've said in a couple of other live streams, the Psalm 83 war appears to be unfolding before our eyes. Hezbollah is shooting missiles, but they haven't come in with an unrestrained attack. When they do, Israel's going to unload on them. And if they keep picking at Israel, they may have to do it anyway. Isaiah 17:1 says, Damascus, Syria, will be a ruinous heap. So we know in the future, this oldest continuing populated city of Damascus will be no more. It's going to be wiped out. Israel's going to wipe it out. That means Syria has to come into this war. And it means that Iran is coming into the war on the backs of the Hezbollah. And the players in Psalm 83 are in place. Keep an eye on it because it may not unfold just yet, but that war is coming, and I thank Bill Salas for his teaching on that. But here's what we have. When this weakness that we have in the Biden administration that's put all of our troops in harm's way, getting them hurt. We're going to get some of them hurt and killed because our enemy does not fear us. They feel like they can attack us with impunity. And we might blow up a warehouse or something along the way just to try to insinuate that we're serious about stopping anything. But I'm afraid it's going to get some people really hurt, and then we're going to have to do something. Even Biden will have to do something. We've got to get this guy out. Listen, better get your house in order. I'm announcing tonight the organization of a brand new political group. I mean, you've got the Just Lives Now in the street. You've got the Bowel movement to BLM. You've got the rump hole fungus called Antifa. Well, I'm calling my group Real Americans Against Pro-Hamas Scum. And I'm calling on every real American to join me in this movement against the pro-Hamas scum. Here are my goals. 1, deport every non-citizen who's demonstrating right now in the street. Every one of them. Get them out. Go home. Take your demonstration and your love for Hamas and your Jew hatred back to your country. And that'll thin your herd because a lot of you would be assassinated over there post haste. Get them out of our country. Deport them. They don't belong here. We don't want you here. Go home. 2nd, jail the citizens of the United States who demonstrate in our streets and cross the line, and like those that attack the Democrat. There is no Democratic Party, the Democrat headquarters last week. And as far as I'm concerned, the Democrat woman that said, oh, it scared me more than January 6th. Good. It ought to scare you. The way you've treated MAGA people who just there trying to stop the steal, and there's a handful of violent people that ought to be punished, and they have been. But most people were just there. But they've been treated very harshly. I'll guarantee you, the sorry piece of whatever in who's ahead of injustice department will not go after those demonstrations. I'll guarantee you the FBI won't look them up and incarcerate them with incognito for indefinite periods of time. So jail every United States citizen who's demonstrating not peacefully but crosses the line. Revoke the scholarships of every one of these Jew-hating brats that are in the street or on the school grounds. The reason I know that I've got intelligence is thank God I didn't go to an Ivy League school, because they don't have any sense. Those professors should be fired and lose their jobs, because they have indoctrinated now at least 2 generations of young people to hate our country. They don't love America. We've got a government right now that hates America. They hate you as a Bible believing Christian, and they're coming for you. 4, fine very heavily those who are funding these demonstrations. George Soros and these billionaires that are paying for the demonstrations, lay a heavy fine on them that hurts them where they feel it. 5, make it a crime to deface the American flag and prosecute. Those are my 5 platforms for my program called Real Americans Against Pro-Hamas Scum. Now, if you would like to be a part of that effort of Real Americans Against Pro-Hamas Scum, you can send me your name and I'll add you to the list to Roger Woodard at P.O. Box 396, Kings Mountain, North Carolina 28086. I'm just asking you to invest in a stamp and send me your contact information to let me know that you feel the same way I do about this pro-Hamas scum in our country. And I want to work to get their butts back home. They love the Palestinians, so we'll go over there and try to help them, for crying out loud. And let these little scantily clad girls who are out there demonstrating for Palestine take that love over there and see how long they live without covering up their bodies, or they'll be executed. So 5 parts of my program. Deport every non-citizen who's demonstrating in our streets right now. 2, jail the citizens who demonstrate and cross the line and hurt them in their pockets. 3, revoke the scholarships of all of these kids who are here on student visas, or just plain are going to school on the taxpayers' dime. Find those who are funding these demonstrators and hit them hard. 5, make it a crime punishable with jail time to deface the American flag. And it's called, don't forget, Real Americans Against the Pro-Hamas Scum. Now, one other thing before I leave you. It hurts me because I know Congressman McHenry. He has been at our church. He's attended a couple of events I've sponsored. I've been in his office. And the last time I was in his office, just a few months ago, didn't get to meet with him, but I did with his staff. And I slammed my fist on his table and said, impeach Mayorkas. Quit talking about it. Do it. Well, I am sad to say that Patrick McHenry and Virginia Fox of North Carolina were 2 of 8 Republicans who voted with the Democrats to kill the motion to impeach Mayorkas. These people should not be just impeached, they ought to be put in prison, for they are intentionally allowing this flood at our borders, putting our nation at risk. It's intentional. They have no intention of closing that border. And if and when we can get a new regime, it's too late. I'm asking every North Carolina in our district and in Virginia, Fox's district, help get these rhinos out of office and help us elect real conservative Christians. Please pray about doing that. Well, my voice is leaving me, but I want to say one more time. Vote against Patrick McHenry. Vote against Virginia Fox. They don't deserve your loyalty. They don't deserve your vote. Contact me at P.O. Box 396, Kings Mountain, North Carolina, to add your influence and your name to this new group I'm starting, Real Americans Against Pro-Hamas Scum. Let's see if we can get a grassroots effort going to make these demons mad. I hope so. Father, everyone's watching me tonight. I pray you would bless them, favor them, cover them, save the lost, sanctify, fill with the Holy Ghost, heal the sick, bless their finances, watch over them and their family with favor and covering in the name of Jesus. Good night, everybody.